Have you ever had one of those friendships that feels absolutely essential? You know, the kind you'd do anything to protect? Well, today we're diving into a really personal story about a bond exactly like that. A friendship that finds itself at a crossroads, where one single choice could either make it stronger than ever or just shatter it completely.
Right off the bat, the author hits us with this. This isn't some hypothetical problem. This was a real, life-changing dilemma that came out of nowhere. You can just feel the weight of it from this one sentence. The stakes are already sky high.
So, how did this all start? Well, like a lot of the most important relationships, it didn't begin with a bang. It started quietly on a college campus, between two sophomores who were, believe it or not, kind of shy and hadn't really even talked to each other.
And that's really the magic of it, isn't it? There wasn't some big, dramatic event. It was just a slow, natural burn. They just clicked. And day by day, that connection got stronger, building on this really solid foundation of just spending time together and learning to trust one another. That slow build is so important to understanding what was about to be put on the line. I mean, just look at this. This wasn't some casual see you in class kind of thing. We're talking seeing each other every single day, constant phone calls, sharing the big life stories and the silly little inside jokes. They were building a whole world together. This is the history, the real substance of their friendship that's about to face its biggest test.
And there it is. This solidifies everything. This wasn't just a friendship, it was the friendship. Our narrator literally made a promise to themselves to protect it. So in their mind, this bond was perfect. It was safe, it was something to be guarded, which, of course, is usually the exact moment when life decides to throw a curveball.
And here comes that curveball. Just when things seem stable, that solid ground of this perfect friendship starts to, well, it starts to shift. And it leads to a realization that changes absolutely everything.
You can almost feel the record scratch on this line, can't you? That core belief that this friendship is platonic and safe is suddenly being questioned, and it all starts with this growing awareness of someone.
As the narrator is trying to process this, they start kind of listing off qualities, almost like they're trying to figure it out in real time. And notice who this someone is. It's the person who's been there for everything, the highs and the lows. The description keeps building. Kind, understanding, trustworthy. I mean, every single one of these qualities is a perfect description of their best friend. The realization is getting closer and closer, and that feeling is shifting from just friendship to something more. And boom, there it is, the big reveal. The someone who was this anchor of support and fun is now also the source of this brand new, totally complicated, and frankly, terrifying feeling. The battle lines for this internal conflict are officially drawn. So this huge realization brings our narrator to what the story calls a crossroads. And this is the real heart of it all. It's that moment where you have to make a choice, and you know deep down that there's no easy path and no going back.
This slide just lays out the internal tug-of-war so perfectly. On one side, you have the pure joy of having this amazing person in your life as a best friend. But on the other, there's this heartbreaking sadness that the friendship itself might be the very thing stopping it from becoming anything else. Man, is this relatable or what? It just perfectly captures how impossible it feels to just turn off your emotions. You can't just decide to not feel something when it feels so real, so persistent. It's like being haunted, for sure.
And here it is, the million-dollar question. This is the core dilemma. Do you risk something you already have, something wonderful and certain, for the possibility of something more? That is the question at the very center of this crossroads.
And the story is really clear that there's no easy answer here. It's not in a book. You can't ask your friends for the right move. The author says the only answer can be found inside two hearts. It's a choice that belongs only to them. Okay, so a choice had to be made. And that brings us to the climax of the story, the moment they pick a path. And the fallout, well, it's immediate, and it is incredibly painful. So they did it. They took the risk, they chose the path of bigger steps. And for a little while, it seemed like it might actually work. It was fine. But that one word, until, man, it just hangs there with this sense of dread. You know something bad is coming. And the fall was fast, brutally fast. One impulsive act, one bad decision, and that entire world they had built together over years, it just shattered. Gone. Just like that. Just think about that for a second. Years of shared history, of trust, all gone in a matter of minutes. What came next was just this long, heavy silence. Both of them were hurt, and the connection they once had was completely severed.
But is that really where the story ends? Not quite. Because after the shattering, we get to the most important part, the slow, difficult, and uncertain process of trying to rebuild.
Wow, that first conversation after everything fell apart, it's just filled with so much. There's happiness, just pure relief that they're talking again, but it's mixed with all the regret over what happened. It's proof that underneath all that hurt, the core of their bond was still there, somewhere.
And this, right here, is the biggest takeaway of this entire story. The risk they took created this massive earthquake that shook everything. But that foundation they had spent so much time building, all the laughter, the shared secrets, the trust, it was just too strong to be completely destroyed.
You know, what's so fascinating is how they fixed things. It wasn't about long, drawn-out apologies or rehashing the past. It was about action. They just slipped back into their old way of being together, as if the friendship was their natural state. It was resilient enough to just absorb the shock and keep going.
So the author ends with this really powerful thought. They made it through the crossroads. You could even argue their friendship is stronger now, but the journey was so difficult, so full of risk and pain, that it's a place they never want to have to visit again. And it leaves you wondering, right? Is the true strength of a bond only ever revealed after it's been pushed to its absolute limit? And is that a test any of us should actually be willing to take?